Thank you very much. Well, I'll first of all react to my visit to my son, Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is my son. Today I'm the leader of Igbo people, and every Igbo child is my son. He is my son. He has been incarcerated for so many months, and I have reviewed the matter very critically. Many Igbos have reviewed the matter very critically, and we are of the opinion that Nnamdi Kanu doesn't deserve the type of punishment being given.
There is a repeated story that the federal government of Nigeria has been parading about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I think this story has become a lie. First of all, during the administration of Muhammadu Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari came to the southeast to see the people of the southeast because of Nnamdi Kanu, and he told them that he will allow the court of law to determine whether Nnamdi Kanu will be freed or whether he's going to serve some years in jail. And what happened? At the end, Nnamdi Kanu was free by the court. But the federal government refused, and they started prolonging the case, appealing the judgment, and so on and so forth. Now, coming to this administration of Tinubu, the Attorney General of the Federation recently made a statement that it is the same court that will free Nnamdi Kanu, that they don't have the right to free him, that they have checked his file. But since Tinubu assumed office, Sunday Igboho was pardoned, Omoyinde Sowore was pardoned, what is he called, the leader of Meeti Anda was accused of terrorism. They withdraw the case, they free him. Now, Sunday Igboho and Omoyinde Sowore, first of all, we are not even supposed to even be heard before. But let's come to reality that these people have been free. But Nnamdi Kanu's case, they are saying that it is only court that will determine. And I want to take you back to the memory lane. I want you to watch this video where the Appeal Court of Nigeria discharged Nnamdi Kanu, says he don't have any case to answer. Take a look.
The atmosphere in the court is quiet, with a few lawyers and litigants waiting to witness proceedings in the appeal filed by the detained leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. After a 2-hour wait, the court delivers its judgment, discharging Mr. Nnamdi Kanu of the 6-count charge of terrorism on the grounds that the trial court lacked the jurisdiction to entertain the charges against him. The court held that an unlawful and extraordinary rendition without adherence to due process of the law is a gross violation of all international conventions, protocols and treaties that Nigeria is signatory to, as well as a breach of the appellant's fundamental human rights. The appellate court holds that the federal government failed to controvert the allegation that the IPOB leader was abducted in Kenya and brought back to Nigeria without extradition proceeding. The court further adds that the government was ominously silent on the issue, which is described as very pivotal in determining whether the trial court would still have the jurisdiction to continue with the criminal proceeding before it. The court also notes that Nigeria is a signatory to African Union Convention, which it ratified on April 28, 2022, as well as the Charter on Human and People's Rights, which it said prescribed how a wanted person could be transferred from one country to another through an extradition request, which must be in writing with a statement indicating offenses for which a person is wanted. The appellate court held that the government's action tainted the entire proceeding it initiated against Mr. Nnamdi Kanu and amounted to an abuse of criminal prosecution in general. Although the counsel to the federal government left the court immediately after the judgment, the lawyer to Mr. Kanu reacts to the judgment.
There was one fundamental issue on which the court today anchored its judgment, this intermediate court. And that is that the lower court never evaluated the mountain of evidence placed before it regarding the forceful capture, kidnap, torture, and extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya back to Nigeria on the 26th of June, 2021.
So Ohaneze, Igbo, and their leadership have been appealing to the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu, that what he is going through is that he is not supposed to go through all these things. But I am very convinced that Nnamdi Kanu is not there because he's supposed to be there. That is what Ohaneze is supposed to understand, that they are part of them, of their governors. And also, maybe Tinubu is feeling that once Nnamdi Kanu is out, he will disrupt everything in addition to what we have been facing, because Nnamdi Kanu always used truth to distract almost everything that the federal government is doing. However, Ohaneze and Igbo recently visited Nnamdi Kanu. Let's listen to what the leadership said.
Nnamdi Kanu, like all youths in Nigeria, expressed their unhappiness because they believe the lack of opportunities. They believe there is discrimination. They believe that things are not the way they should go. They're not happy. So it's not only Nnamdi Kanu, and this is not the first time. Let's go back into history. And you see, we have been talking about the structuring of this country. And I want to take this opportunity again to call Tinubu to take a serious look, an immediate look into the structuring of this country. Until this country is structured to enable people to develop within their capacity, within their potentials, so that people should in fact be able to harvest and exploit God-given potentials in their places. And then the power of federal government should be reduced. The federating units should be given more power. This has been clear in 1914 when Nigeria was amalgamated. It was clear to everybody that Nigeria was not a republic of one nation, but a federation of many nations. So it's a federal republic with many nations. All the various ethnic nationalities had their culture, had their history, had their idiosyncrasies. And it was clear to all of us. And all through history, where you have such people, you normally work in a federation. For example, the Great Britain. In Great Britain, is comprise Scotland, comprise Ireland, comprise Wales, and comprise England. They are working together. Our founding fathers were sensible enough that not a federal constitution. The military changed it. This problem has been on. When Britain wanted us to have independence in 1957, the North said no, they won't accept it. In fact, at that particular time, if Awolowo and Zik, who were leaders of this eastern, south, and southern Nigeria, had agreed, because there were three regions: northern region, western region, and eastern region. If any two of them had agreed, they would get it by 1957. Well, we didn't. In fairness, Awolowo was very keen on it, but it was Zik who actually played the mediatory role and said we should carry the North along with us. That time, North was shouting Araba, Araba. That means they wanted to secede. They said that they cannot. And then we had to have it by 1960. Even by 1960, we had a federal constitution which gave every region, then three regions, north, east, and west, level of autonomy. All these regions had their high commission in Britain. They operated. And in fact, at that time, Eastern Nigeria operated very well. We were described Eastern Nigeria as probably one of the fastest growing economies south of Sahara. Now, even before then, even after independence, we had the other problems. We had Azigboro. Azigboro demanded for Niger Delta. Eventually, he succeeded, in fact. Eventually, Nigerians absorbed him into Nigerian army. In fact, he fought in Nigerian army. And I think he died fighting as a Nigerian soldier during the Civil War. Now, the Civil War, for example, came due to restructuring. Ojukwu didn't want to break away from Nigeria. Igbo didn't want to break away. In Aburi, what Ojukwu discussed with Gowon was restructuring of Nigeria to make it easier for Igbos to live in the country. But when they all agreed, but when Gowon came to Nigeria, we were made to understand that Nigerians were advised not to accept it, because restructuring it means giving the rich oil area to eastern Nigeria, and they're very rich. So they repeated it, I still remember in Biafra, everybody had a vest. On our body we stand. On our body we stand. That on our body we stand didn't mean that we were seceding. It's that we want to be Nigerians. But with the restructured Nigeria, eventually that failed and it led to civil war, where we in Igbo land lost over 3 million people.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, I'm coming, I'm rounding up. Listen, I'm telling you the background. Now, the point about it is, I'm only telling you why anybody, today, the Yorubas are asking for secession. Today, you have they're asking for the Oduduwa, and of course, they have infrastructure very well developed. Even the Jaws are asking for it. Even the Middle Belt. So the point about it, the only solution is not only the Igbos. People think it's only Igbos. The only solution to this is restructuring. I think it has to be done quickly. Nnamdi Kanu, I haven't seen any. They have been cleared by the court. The High Court have declared him. The Supreme Court has declared him. I don't understand why he's being held. You see, I don't see why somebody who is being held. We are appealing to the government because today is no more a judicial issue. It's a political issue. We in Igbo land, and I'm speaking for Igbos, we believe that this matter is not political. We don't want people to talk about going through the court process. Court process can last the next 5 years. That means our son will be in prison for 5 years or so. I think this is a political matter, and I want the president to use political power to get released. When going there, first of all, ask me the purpose. The purpose is that we are not in support. We have a group called IPOB. I call it IPOD. This group claim a lot of things, but Nnamdi Kanu have dissociated himself. Even recently, there was wild accusation against me as a leader of Igbos. IPOB is the only group that wrote against me. Nnamdi Kanu is not with them. And you see, we have got in the East today people telling people not to go work still at home on Monday. There is no one today. People should not go to school. Even I hear that soldiers have been killed. The truth about it, I discussed with Nnamdi Kanu. He is very sad and very bitter about it. And Igbos are not happy. And he has said it. Nnamdi Kanu sometime last year said it, that he is not part of these people who are forcing Igbos to sit at home.
Did he say it today?
He said it to me again.
Today?
Yes, he said it to me. That is not part of it. He said it to me, and he said it to me today, that he is not part of this question of people going to stop people from taking exam. Igbos value education. Two things that have made Igbos develop. One is education. The other one is business enterprise. We don't joke with these two things. There is hardly any Igbo family that joke with education. If anybody come and tell an Igbo person, I heard today they are doing mathematics, and then Igbos are being stopped. I even hear that some military people are killed. These are criminal actions, very criminal. Nnamdi Kanu doesn't support any of this. And that is why you will see that Igbos are concerned about him. If he supports all this, Igbos are not going to be concerned. I'm not going to support him. Because Igbos are not going to support somebody who will go and start ordering the killing of soldiers. They behave soldiers, they burn them, they behave policemen and burn them. These are criminals. And most of them were people who were actually released from prisons. And so when they were released, most of them had nothing, no money, and so on. So this is a matter that requires discussion. I'll discuss this with the governors when I go back, because there are so many things I discuss with him, which I have to discuss with the governors. Now, the order to kill reformment is criminal. It's very criminal. The order to kill anybody is criminal. Igbos are Christians. Igbos are Christians, and we are raised by our parents to know that human life is sacred, human blood is sacred. Any man who takes the life of another human being is bad. We are people who travel to many places. We welcome strangers. Now, Igbo say it even in Igbo land, I say, Ojemba, when we travel to places, you make friends. You don't have enemies. So we are very friendly to visitors. So any gesture of hostility against enemies, against strangers, is against us. But we travel to many places. So the truth about it is, one, Nnamdi Kanu is not in support. Nnamdi Kanu is not in support of this question of law that people should go. People should start up on today. He's not even about it. I'm sad, very sad that in Igbo land, where I am now presiding as a leader, that some people can come and kill two. I hear 2 soldiers have been killed somewhere. These are people who are carrying the banner of Nigeria. These are people who have brought out their life for us. And it is very sad. We regard it as a criminal matter. Igbos are not happy about it, and we are very sad about it. Nnamdi Kanu is not happy about it. And in fact, this is the more reason why we plead that our President Tinubu should take political action to release him. Because if he is released, nobody will now have any excuse whatsoever. We will now know who is a criminal and who is not a criminal. So that is the point. I hope that I have mentioned all the points you want to get. Now, Nnamdi Kanu, look at it. Nnamdi Kanu, there is the liberation of people from Nigeria. We have people in Yoruba fighting for liberation. Are they in jail? We have people from the north fighting that north. Are they in jail? People have fought Araba. Are they in jail? We have people in Ijo fighting for it. Are they in jail? Why is it that the Igbo person? The truth is this. Nnamdi Kanu, that's a constitutional process. You know, when a young man says he's liberating, you see, what Nnamdi Kanu is reacting, is responding to the very serious discrimination against Igbos. Everybody in Nigeria today will know that Igbos have been discriminated. Even a president in this country was bold enough to say that he is discriminated against us because we didn't vote for him. We gave him 5% vote. A president in this country, and you're telling me contradictory. What is contradictory? When a whole president clearly discriminated against us, even today, let me tell you, ministers were appointed, 48 ministers were appointed. We were given only 5. In NEC now, National Executive Council, when it goes, for avoidance of doubt, we Igbos, we have not forgotten that our forebears played a major role in bringing independence to this country. We have not forgotten that we are playing a major role in shaping the educational, economic destiny of this country. We have not forgotten that our young men and women are taking part in sports, even when it comes to military activities elsewhere. We have not forgotten that an Igbo man in Ironsi went to Congo and fought and brought glory. So we have done everything to promote Nigeria. I don't see why we deserve this type of treatment. We don't deserve it. Forget about, nobody talking about secession. If Nigeria is restructured, nobody wants to talk about. If Nigeria is not restructured, no structure that is unstable can survive. Nigeria needs to be restructured in order to survive. It's not a matter of some people taking it as if they are comfortable. If you don't restructure Nigeria and it is the way it is, corruption will continue, bureaucracy will continue, everybody will now come to Abuja. You will have a presidential system where the Abuja president's office is about powerful, the most powerful in the world. Because see, and everybody everywhere is coming to the same place. You see, nobody is talking about most Igbo leaders, but it's a young boy, like his friends in other places, they're talking about secession. So I want you to remove your mind about contradiction. That is no contradiction. The point is, Yorubas, through young people there have said it. Igbos have said it. The Jaws have said it. Even the Northerners have said it. So everybody says something is wrong. And if something is wrong, do we now say, you want to tell me here it is good?